The doctor didn't raise his voice. He didn't panic. He just looked at me long, steady, unreadable, and asked one question that made my entire body go cold. "Has your daughter been alone with the maid recently?" I didn't answer immediately, because in that moment, something inside me shifted. The room suddenly felt too quiet, too still, like everything was waiting for me to realize something I had completely missed. And then it hit me. Yesterday, she was alone with him. Yesterday, I felt my throat tighten as I nodded slowly. Yes, yes, she has. Why? The doctor didn't respond right away. He glanced at my daughter sitting beside me on the hospital bed, small, quiet, her fingers gripping the edge of the blanket like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. She hadn't said a word since morning, not one. And my daughter, she talks, she laughs, she tells stories that don't even make sense sometimes. She fills every space with noise and life. But now, nothing, just silence. And that silence was louder than anything I had ever heard. It all started the day before. I remember it clearly because nothing about it felt unusual at the time. That's the part that scares me the most, how normal everything seemed. I was getting ready to leave the house, rushing like I always do when I'm already late. My daughter was in the living room, lying on her stomach, colouring in one of her sketchbooks. She looked up at me and smiled. "Mum, look, I drew you." I walked over quickly, barely giving it a second glance. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," I said, kissing her head. "I'll be back soon, okay?" "Okay," she chirped. And then I turned to him, the maid. He had been working with us for a few months. Quiet, polite, never caused any trouble. "Make sure she eats lunch," I told him, "and no too much TV." "Yes, madam," he replied calmly. Nothing strange, nothing suspicious. If anything, I felt comfortable. That's what haunts me now. I left the house thinking my daughter was safe, completely safe. The day went on like any other. Meetings, phone calls, distractions pulling me in every direction. At some point, I checked my phone and saw a message from her. Mum, just that. No emojis, no extra words. Just, "Mum," I smiled and typed back quickly. "Yes, baby?" No reply. I didn't think much of it. Maybe she got distracted. Maybe she was playing. Maybe she just forgot. But now, standing in that hospital room, that single word felt different. It felt like something unfinished, like she wanted to say more, but didn't. When I got home that evening, the first thing I noticed was the silence. No cartoons, no singing, no little footsteps running to greet me. Just silence. My heart skipped. "Sweetheart?" I called out, dropping my bag near the door. No answer. I moved quickly through the house, my chest tightening with every step. The living room was empty. The kitchen was clean, too clean. And then I reached her room. She was sitting on the bed, perfectly still, her back straight, her hands resting on her lap, just staring. "Hey," I said softly, forcing a smile as I walked in. "What are you doing sitting in the dark like this?" She didn't respond, didn't move, didn't even blink. A chill ran down my spine. I rushed over and sat beside her. "Baby?" I whispered, touching her arm. Her skin felt cold. She slowly turned her head to look at me. And that look, I will never forget that look. It wasn't fear. It wasn't sadness. It was something else. Something empty. Like she had gone somewhere I couldn't reach. "What's wrong?" I asked, my voice trembling now. "Are you sick? Did something happen?" Nothing. No words. Just silence. That's when panic started to rise in my chest. I stood up quickly. "Where's the maid?" I called out. No answer. I checked the kitchen, the backyard, the gate. Gone. He was gone. No note, no message, nothing. My heart started racing uncontrollably as I rushed back to my daughter. "It's okay," I said quickly, kneeling in front of her. "Mum is here. You're okay." But she didn't hug me, didn't react, just sat there. Like she wasn't fully present. That's when I knew something was wrong. Something I didn't understand yet, but something serious. I didn't waste time. I grabbed my keys, wrapped her in a sweater, and took her straight to the hospital. And now, here we were, sitting in this room, with that question hanging in the air. "Has your daughter been alone with the maid recently?" I swallowed hard, my voice barely steady. "Yes, yesterday. I was out most of the day." The doctor nodded slowly, his expression careful. "We're still evaluating her," he said, "but I need you to stay calm and answer a few questions." Calm? How was I supposed to stay calm? My daughter hadn't spoken in hours. The man I trusted to watch her had disappeared. And now the doctor was asking questions that made my stomach twist. "What do you think happened?" I asked, my voice breaking. He hesitated. And that hesitation, it terrified me. "Sometimes," he said slowly, "when children go through something they don't understand, they withdraw. They become quiet, distant." My chest tightened. "Go through what?" I whispered. He didn't answer directly. Instead, he looked at my daughter again, then back at me. "We need to find out what happened while you were away." The words echoed in my head, over and over again. "What happened while you were away?" I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. Her small frame, her trembling fingers, the way her eyes avoided mine. And suddenly, guilt crashed over me like a wave. I left her. I left her thinking she was safe. And now, I didn't even know what she had been through. Tears filled my eyes, but I wiped them quickly. I couldn't fall apart. Not now. Not when she needed me. I gently took her hand, squeezing it softly. "Baby, you can tell me anything," I whispered. "Anything at all. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere." For a moment, nothing happened. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the machines. Then slowly, very slowly, she moved. Her fingers tightened around mine. Her lips parted slightly. "Mom," she whispered. My heart stopped. "Yes, sweetheart?" I leaned closer, holding my breath. Her voice was barely audible, fragile, like it might break if she said too much. He said, "Not to tell you." Everything inside me shattered. The doctor stepped closer, his expression turning serious. "Who said that?" he asked gently. But my daughter didn't answer. She just looked at me. And in that moment, I realized something I will never forget for the rest of my life. Sometimes the most dangerous things don't come with warning. Sometimes they come quietly, disguised as trust. Es normal. As safe. I held her tighter, my heart filled with fear, anger, and one overwhelming promise. Whatever happened, I was going to find out, and I was never going to let anyone hurt my child again.